Welcome to the Erotic Realm podcast, where we explore the psychology of darker desires. I'm Em, and if you're new here, welcome. I'm a psychosexuality nerd with a background in psychology, sociology, medical science, and Tantra. I'm also in a 24/7 collared relationship, and I created this podcast with the mission of humanizing kinksters. Join me here for one-on-one, in-depth conversations as we explore the fascinating world of eroticism, one erotic realm at a time. If you love what we're doing here in the erotic realm, I'd like to ask you a quick favor. Can you follow and rate the show wherever you listen? It helps the show reach more people like you. And if you haven't yet, I'd love if you could subscribe to my Substack, Psychology of Desire. This is where I go even deeper into the science and symbolism of desire, archetypes, and erotic evolution. You'll get access to articles, unique surveys and research, and behind-the-scenes access to everything I'm building. Simply visit psychologyofdesire.substack.com. I'll see you there. And now, for today's episode. The following episode marks the beginning of Season 2 of the Erotic Realm. Welcome. And as we step into the new year, I wanted to begin this season differently. Not with theory, not with expertise, not with going deep into one person's erotic realm, but with intention. Because we make goals for almost every other part of our lives, our careers, our bodies, our finances, our relationships. But when it comes to our desire, especially erotic desire, we often leave it to chance. We wait for it to return. We hope it doesn't disappear. We assume it should just happen. So to open this season, I invited kinksters and erotic explorers to come onto the show and share something rarely spoken about: their New Year erotic and kink intentions, what they want to explore, what they want to deepen, and what they want to reclaim, confront, or finally give themselves permission to want. And this isn't a one-off. These guests will return at the end of the year so we can reflect on what shifted, what surprised them, and what actually happens when we treat desire as something we can listen to, tend to, and consciously engage with. Because desire isn't just impulse, it's not chaos, and it's not frivolous. Desire responds to attention, and attention, when given with curiosity rather than judgment, changes everything. And your desire deserves attention. Before we begin today's episode, I want to share something I've been quietly building in the background, something many of you have asked me for over the past year. I've just released the Desire Diary. Now, this isn't a planner. It's not a productivity journal, and it's not about forcing desire to behave. The Desire Diary is a working psychological tool designed to help you notice how your desire actually operates in your body, your fantasies, your relationships, and your inner world. Because one of the things that I've learned through my countless hours of studying desire and the hundreds of conversations that I've had is that most of us were never taught how to explore our desire. Only how to judge it, suppress it, or panic when it changes. This desire was created to slow that down. Inside, you'll find space for reflection, pattern spotting, and gentle inquiry, not prompts telling you what you should want, but questions that help you listen more closely to what's already there. It's a soft cover or hardcover, small run edition designed to be written in, lived with, and returned to. And it's available now via the link in the show notes. So if you're someone who listens to this podcast and thinks, yes, but what does this look like in my own desire? This diary is for you. And now, let's step into today's episode. Welcome back to Season 2 of the Erotic Realm. Enjoy. Welcome to the Erotic Realm Kink and Erotic Intentions New Year special. I have someone here ready to set their New Year intentions with us. So, can you please begin by telling us your name, age, gender, and a bit about your sexuality and kinky self?
Yes. So, my name, like Onfet, is a hot wife Chrissy, and I'm 30 years old. Um, and my sexuality is just, I would say, straight, but I noticed that I have a thing, more about like mental connection that really works for me, not necessarily like the physical attraction that usually comes later. I need to have a mental connection with someone to be able to have a, I would say, good relationship, whether that's friendship or sexual, or anything else, really.
Mm-hmm. And what about your gender?
Oh, sorry, I'm female.
It's okay. No worries. There's a lot in there.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
now let's move on to the exciting part, your kink and erotic intentions for 2026. So,
Mm.
what are you longing to explore in your erotic or kink life next year and why?
Well, me and my husband are more on the stag vixen dynamic.
Mm,
We actually recently discovered it, I would say, because my husband kind of opened up the conversation, and first he used the word cuckold because usually in that area, that's the most things you can find online and things like that. But the humiliation parts and things didn't really work for us. So we are really into the stag vixen dynamic right now, and that really clicks with us. So we want to explore that a lot more. I want to do that because I don't know, it feels like empowering to me.
mm-hmm,
Before it was a no for me, to be honest. When my husband told me like, "Hey, I get turned on by the idea of you fucking with other men," and I was like, "Excuse me." Um, I was a bit surprised, but the more thought I gave to it, I was like, yeah, no, it's really fun. So at this point, I'm just talking to guys, and that is really turning me on. And seeing my husband getting turned on from that is an extra turn on for me.
mm-hmm,
So we really want to explore that more, like to get into the physical idea instead of just talking online to do actually physical with another man or more. Who knows? I don't know.
mm-hmm.
We are going to see.
Sounds like a lot of fun. So, what part of yourself do you want to meet through this desire?
Oh, that's a good question. I guess myself, like my true self,
Mm-hmm,
I've been so many things for other people for for so many years, like a friend, girlfriend, wife, mom. And I feel like this is a thing where I can be myself.
mm,
Um, as in like I don't know how to describe it, but like really be myself, even that slutty side,
mm-hmm,
feeling desired, feeling free, feeling just completely myself
mm.
and being desired and adored while I'm doing that.
Sounds like a reclamation of your sexuality almost. Beautiful.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
So, what challenges or fears do you feel might arise in pursuing this?
Oh, well, to be honest, I had a freak out 2 weeks ago about this.
Mm,
Um, More about I feel a little bit like a hypocrite because I don't want my husband to be with another woman, for example,
right.
and our focus really been like he's the stag, like he is watching and or participating. But we never really talked about him. Well, we have talked about, but it was never on the table. Um, but I don't know, like 2 weeks ago, it was kind of a freak out. Like, what if he does want to be with another woman? And what if I'm not ready for it when that happens? And
Mm,
or what if we are at the point of doing it? What if he changes his mind, or what if I change my mind? I don't want to disappoint him. I know, like we've talked about it. Like he said, you cannot do it, but still, like I mean, in the moment, it can be different, I think. And I think also the person who we would choose, I'm a bit afraid that, what if I regret it, or what if it's not what I hoped it would be?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
A bit of the fears that I'm having at the moment.
Mm-hmm. So, what would the opposite look like? What would fulfillment look like for you by year's end? Say everything goes how you want. How will you know that you've met your goals?
Uh, then I probably guess we have had the real deal, so to say. Like we met with a guy, I had sex with him, it was great, and we feel uh, like why haven't we done this sooner? I guess
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing that I hope for. Like if that would be the greatest outcome. Like if we both think like, why haven't we done this sooner? Why didn't we start to do this earlier? Or why were we afraid of certain things? Like silly us, when we look back. That's uh that's what we are hoping for.
Mm-hmm. How long have you been with your partner?
15 years.
Oh, wow. Beautiful. Congratulations.
So
Mm-hmm.
thank you. Yes, just little 15-year-old me. Uh yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, true. I didn't put that together. Wow. Okay. What a
Yeah,
journey. Mm-hmm.
yes, it is. But I also know that what I have isn't what most people have at that age, or at this age even.
Mm.
So I feel very lucky to be able to explore it with him and have that safe space, especially from him to explore this, like not just me, but also together.
Mm. So, were you high
And I really
school
love.
sweethearts?
Well, we weren't going to the same school, but
Yep.
age-wise, yes, definitely. I was 15, he was 17. So yeah, in that sense, yeah,
Oh, lovely.
and still happily married. We just are looking for an extension of the relationship, of the fun, just having a play, having a game outside of
Mm.
our marriage, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Did you listen to the episode with Cuck of an Angel at all?
Yep.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I was
Yes.
going to say I have to send it
Yes.
to you if you didn't, because his
No, I
devotion to
listened to
his
that one.
wife, yeah, his devotion to his wife in a similar sounds like dynamic. Yeah, it was really beautiful.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It really was. Yeah.
Yep. Okay,
Yes.
so going back to your overall goal, if you could name your 2026 erotic theme in one word, what would it be?
Hmm. Hmm. Exploration.
Mm-hmm.
uh, Exploring this lifestyle, exploring myself, exploring my husband on another level, because
Mm.
of course that would do something to him. Um, yeah, exploring, having fun, discovering. Yeah, that's going
Perfect.
to be it.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much for being part of the very first edition of the Erotic Realm Kink and Erotic Intentions New Year's special. I really look forward to having you back on the podcast at the end of the year to see what happened throughout the year for you.
Me too. Thanks. I hope I have a good, fun story to tell.
Yeah, me too. I look forward to hearing it. Thanks again.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So, welcome to the Erotic Realm Kink and Erotic Intentions New Year special. I have someone here ready to set their New Year intentions with us. So, can you please begin by telling us your name and age?
Yes, hello. Well, my official name is Itlali, and my play name is Anima Kink. And my age, I am 44 now. I'm soon
Mhm.
to be 45 in December. So I'll be celebrating.
Cool. Me too. My birthday's in December.
Good.
Okay, so what about your gender and a little bit about your sexuality and kinky self? Can you share that with us, please?
Mm-hmm. Sure. I am a cis woman and I like to express as a gender bender. It's always fun to play with that and confuse
Mhm.
people. And I consider myself as a pansexual. And I think I always felt like that, but I didn't found the words and theory to understand it until recent years. So I'm really grateful for that.
Mhm.
Also. Hmm.
Cool. And what about your kinky sexuality? How do you describe yourself?
um. Well, that's a fun question. I think in general, I love to play. I like to enjoy as a primal switch, as a rigger, and as a sadistic seductress dom.
Mm.
Those are my titles so far. But I'm
Okay.
always exploring, and depends a lot on who I play with,
Mhm.
and also on the times with myself when I don't play with other people, how I feel with myself.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay, wonderful. So now we'll move on to the kink and erotic intentions for 2026. So, what are you longing to explore in your erotic or kink life next year and why?
Hmm. Well, I think I want to be exploring more with my private play self
Mhm.
and how also it connects with keeping me healthy. And also, I want to be exploring this connection and how it relates also with my public kinky person.
Mm.
And I would like to be sharing more consistent time and spaces with other people that are also kinky. And yes, I'm still finding that out.
Mm. So going to more events as well, is that what you mean?
I Yeah, well, that's the question because so far I have been hosting them, and it's
Mm.
very safe for me because it's always happening in my space, and I kind of dictate how is it gonna be. So maybe next year I will be feeling ready. I'm working towards moving to other cities just to visit these other communities and see how other people manage their own spaces. But
Mm.
I don't know how it is going to be. I don't know if they work under the same understandings as I do, etc., etc. So I'm willing to explore that. Yes,
Mm.
to go out of my comfort zone there.
Mm. So, what part of yourself do you want to meet through this desire to get past your comfort zone?
Well, hopefully, I would feel more unified or integrated because sometimes I feel like it's um, like in my ordinary life. I feel like I have this permission to express certain emotions when things out there happen. Like, for example, I can only express my anger when something justifies it. If not, it's like not so well accepted. But
Mm.
within the kink scene, you can just express whatever you are feeling at the moment, as long as it is like consented and etc. But it's more integrated. Like I feel my whole self fits in there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to feel that integration of myself and feeling free and confident. Hopefully I can find people who see it in the same way and create their spaces for expression,
Mm-hmm.
in that way. Hmm.
Mm. Okay, so what challenges or fears do you feel might arise in your pursuing of this goal? What might come up for you that gets in the way?
Um, I'm not sure because I need to do it in order to find out.
Mm-hmm.
But probably I think I would be meeting my own uncertainty. Like, there's always fear of the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
and of course being vulnerable out there, but also feeling brave because I'm out there doing something that I'm not used to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, so what would fulfillment of this goal look like for you? It's the end of the year, we're talking again. How will you know that you've met your goals?
Well, in the outside, it would be by the increased number of friends and the community I normally play with. Having more people around.
Mm-hmm.
And also for me, being free of the monkey mind I have, having a smiling face, a blissful body, and a satisfied soul, hopefully.
Satisfied
Yes.
soul, I love that.
Yes, me too.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you could name your 2026 erotic theme in one word, what would that word be and why?
Just one word. That's difficult.
Yes.
I think I would choose wild.
Wild.
Yes.
And why wild?
I think it's my longing for that freedom or the ability to express that freedom. Just being wild, untamed, unleashed, those type of things. And that also relate a lot with my primal sense. No, I think it's the most liberating of my practice, or what I enjoy the most.
Wonderful. Is there anything else that you'd like to share about your goals for next year or what you're hoping to experience?
Well, I think we need to take space, but also be careful with how we do this, because we want to be open and like to bring something important to the discussion around it also, but without making it trivial. No, because I see, at least where I'm living, it's being commercialized a lot, this image of the kinky scene, and used to gain resources like just for economical reasons. No, but there's nothing around the culture of caring for each other, of following some norms of like the consent and things like that for me are super important. So I see how there is a community that is growing, but is not being educated to do it in a good way. No, or to have for me, the best experience is to feel safe, so you are free to express, no, and to trust in your partners. And I don't see that it's necessarily happening for these people who are creating these other communities where it's just random playing without any knowledge of this sort. So yes, I would like to also do something about that.
That's a big goal. Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful. Very much needed. I'd like to thank you for being part of the very first edition of the Erotic Realm Kink and Erotic Intentions New Year special. And I look forward to having you back on the podcast at the end of the year to see what happened throughout the year for you.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for letting me have a moment here with you and people listening. And let's have a fun year.
Yes, let's. Thank you again. Welcome to the Erotic Realm Kink and Erotic Intentions New Year special. I have someone here ready to set their New Year intentions with us. Can you please begin by telling us your name and age?
My name's Daniel and I'm 35.
Cool. And what about your gender and a bit about your sexuality and kinky self, Daniel?
Gender, so I'm a straight male. And I guess my kinky self, I'm really coming into my own at the moment. I've sort of been in the scene for the last year and a half. I've gone through quite a lot over that year and a half. Got had partner, no longer. So sort of opening up and starting to explore a whole new range of things. I think one of the biggest things that I've noticed, I've really stepped into the whole interest in shibari and rope side of things. It's been quite amazing to start feeling a lot of that out. So a lot of my kink journey is sort of revolving around that at the moment. But I'm very interested in like a wide range of experiences and ideas.
Oh, exciting. So, if you had to put labels on your kinky sexuality right now, what would they be? Would it be rigor, something else?
Yeah, look, rigor is probably one of the most apt ones
Hmm.
just because I have intentions of going in to do a whole bunch of different play, and then it just turns into doing rope with people.
Cool.
It seems to be the way that it happens.
Hmm.
I've definitely gravitated towards that the most, especially from a spirituality perspective. But it's yeah, very much rigor. General top. I do enjoy my impact as well. I'm very keen on that and combining rope and impact together. Uh, yeah, I
Cool.
guess that's probably the best I could label it as.
Nice. Can you just speak a little bit more to the spirituality perspective of rope that you mentioned? I'm curious.
Well, I've never like up until last year, I've never been a spiritual person. I've been a very much a logical and data-driven person. I've always had very minimal contact with, I guess, religion, with Wiccan and pagan practices. Sort of nothing really spoke to me in that sense.
Mm.
But I started doing rope and leaned into this interesting idea around. I guess I was just doing rope for rope's sake. I enjoy CNC aspects. I figured that really adds to the whole CNC side of things, going back to some old slasher horror films that have that interest of capturing people.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, and that was my intention. But I got into rope and really started diving into these connective elements. And again, yeah, I was never one to sort of follow along with that the whole energy exchange perspective between people either. I never really felt that. But then I started doing rope with somebody, and there was just this almost otherworldly feeling.
Mm.
There was this desire and this passion and this interest that I'd never felt before in my entire life. And it's kind of led me to this. I don't want to call it a spiritual awakening because I haven't dove into it anywhere near what I want to do. But there's very much this more universe driven idea inside of me now that I'm really looking to explore and really interested in slowly uncovering and seeing how that kind of plays into the rest of my life.
Mm. Okay, fascinating. Thank you for sharing that. So let's move on to the kink and erotic intentions for 2026. What are you longing to explore in your erotic or kink life next year and why? It sounds like it might be rope, but you might surprise me.
Look, rope is definitely a part of it, but not just rope for the rope's sake.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest part that I'm looking to explore is emotional connectiveness and heavy
Mm.
connection between two people within a scene in rope. Um, over over the last few months, I've tied with quite a few new people and sort of I found this, I don't want to call it a niche, but this interest in heavily connective floor rope.
Mm.
And it's been an interesting thing to feel where I've gone in and played with people for the first time and had almost zero barrier to entry on being able to read their body, read their understandings, and read their needs with non-verbal cues while we're going through the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Being extremely adaptable with rope play, and it's I guess it's something that I really want to explore and really hone in on this idea of being able to deeply connect with people and understand how I can do that through rope. But then I also want to bring that practice out to the other parts of kink that I'm interested in, like wax, knife play, and impact. All
Mm.
of those things I think together are going to, I guess, build this style that I'm interested in, and try and really focus in on what makes my topping specific to me.
Mm. Mm-hmm. So my next question was about what part of yourself do you want to meet through this desire? Is that the part of yourself that you're looking to understand more, the part that's seeking for connection, or is it something else?
There's definitely a big part of that.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had super high connective relationships with people, not for a very long time. And what I've found so far has been really interesting and really fulfilling for myself from a personal perspective and a personal growth perspective.
Mm.
So I think being able to meet who I am from a more engaged, a more well-rounded and well-versed person with relationship connections that can be quite different is something that I'm really keen on exploring and understanding about myself.
Awesome. So, thinking about these goals and next year, what challenges or fears do you feel might arise while you're pursuing this goal?
Look, I've had trouble being vulnerable and open with people a
Mm-hmm.
lot in my life. I've been very much followed the typical male idea of be stoic, don't tell people you've got problems,
Right.
closed off, stonewalling sort of side of things. And I've been very, very vulnerable with quite a few people of recent and learning to open up myself in ways that I've never been comfortable to do. And I
Mm-hmm.
know that that's been an internal thing. So I think the thing that I'm most worried about is getting to a point where I open up, become vulnerable, and then have a freak out and then revert and
Mm.
like not just fall back to where I was, but go even further and almost become isolated.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably my biggest fear, just from a pendulum swinging from one end to the other, and then having that potential recourse of moving back again.
Mm. Okay. Thank you for sharing. So, let's go to the opposite side now and say that that doesn't happen and you're completely fulfilled by the end of next year in this goal. How will you know you've met your goal and you've fulfilled it?
I think the main way that I would know that I fulfilled it is I'm still continually looking for new ways to be vulnerable with people,
Mm.
honestly, and continuing to be open, continuing to be honest and transparent, and able to follow up on these ideas that I have as fairly heavy values in myself now, and just not having any regret around the way that I interact with people from an emotional and a deeper level perspective. I don't want to be able to look back and go, oh, I missed so many opportunities with people, and I decided to stay closed off and just not talk to them about things that may be going on with my life, maybe going on with their life, interacting in authentic ways.
Mm.
And if I can look back and I can say I tried my best and I did what I could to continue to grow in that aspect, that'll more than likely hit my need for that goal.
Very well said. Okay, so now thinking about these goals, if you could name your 2026 erotic theme in one word, what would it be and why?
Discovery.
Mm. Yeah.
It's and that's simply because I'm still new within the space, but it's also very new for a lot of things that I'm experiencing within myself from an internal world perspective. So, I mean, this year has been pretty heavy on discovery itself, but I could definitely see next year being an even bigger approach in both my inner world and how my inner world interacts with my external world, and how I can sort of meld those two together and become a nice authentic self between both spaces.
Yeah, I'm really excited for you, and I look forward to hearing how the year has gone for you, and look forward to having you back on the podcast at the end of the year to see what happened for you. Thank you for sharing.
Well, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. And I look forward to being able to come back and say that I crushed everything and I felt amazing about it. And then hopefully not come back with a whole bunch of horror stories.
Me too. Thank you again. Welcome to the Erotic Realm Kink and Erotic Intentions New Year special. I have a new kinkster here ready to set their new year intentions with us. Can you please begin by telling us your name and age?
Sure, I'm Mistress Mia Payne and I am 51.
Cool. And now I'd love to hear from you a little bit about your gender and your sexuality and kinky self and how you label yourself.
Sure. So I am a cis female, so I'm a woman, and I am a lesbian. And what was the other question?
Just a bit about your sexuality and then your kinky self. So how you label your kinkster.
Oh, sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I am a professional dominatrix, and I am a like a romantic submissive. So I only submit to my romantic partner.
Okay. I haven't heard it put like that before. I really like that. Cool. Okay, so let's move on to the kink and erotic intentions for next year. What are you longing to explore in your erotic or kink life in 2026 and why?
So I think I would probably quantify this as a business goal, but it is still definitely kink related. So
Mhm.
I am doing a lot of work in the healing field with using BDSM techniques. And so I think my goal would be to see a tangible and quantifiable number of new people coming in and seeing benefits from this particular application.
Mhm. Is that through coaching or?
So I do sort of. So I use BDSM techniques. So we do power exchange, there's impact play, there's sensation play, various different kinds of techniques. And they're sort of applied in ways that help to bring catharsis and help you to kind of find your voice, release shame, process trauma, those kinds of beautiful things. So I would like to really see more of my clientele leaning toward the self-development and self-empowerment aspect of things, as opposed to sort of just the playful things.
Very deep. I love it. So in doing this, what part of yourself do you want to meet through these goals next year?
So I would like to meet the part of myself that feels fully embodying her own calling. So I am called to places of healing, and I think this is the most challenging avenue of healing I've ever found because it's difficult to quantify for people or help them understand. So I think that I'd like to really feel I'd like to experience a part of me that feels fully settled and no longer striving, like just really happy in the place where I am.
So in striving for this goal, what challenges or fears do you feel might arise while you're pursuing it?
Mm. Definitely overcoming the sort of, I don't know, misnomers that people have about what I do, um, as well as, my own internal fears with regard to just not being fully understood. I think that tends to be a theme for me, and I really would love to be able to find ways that I can explain what I do and share the heart of what I do and have people really see that I am doing, shadow work, but in the light, and and to not no longer feel fearful that I have to constantly explain.
So is that about the stigma around BDSM as well, the first part that you touched on? Is that what you were meaning then?
Yes. I mean, when I tell people that I'm a dominatrix, they automatically assume that what they've seen in the movies is what's happening, and that's just not true.
So I'm curious if you could expand on that a bit more. What's the biggest difference between what someone sees in the movies and what you do?
Well, the people who I work with tend to be in need of something, and that need is usually an emotional or psychological need. And so being able to provide for them in a different way than maybe a talk therapist would is very fulfilling for me. But most people hear me say that I'm a dominatrix and they assume that I am unkind or that I hate men, because a lot of my clients are men. A lot of them also assume that I'm providing sexual services. I have no judgment against people who do. It's real work and it's necessary, but I just don't do that. And so it's an incorrect assumption on my part.
Okay, so we've talked about the challenges or fears that might get in the way. What about if none of that happens and you're completely fulfilled by the end of the year? How will you know that you've met your goals?
Well, 75% of all of my bookings will be from people who are seeking some kind of metamorphosis or transformative experience.
Oh, wow, you put a number on it. I love that. Awesome. Cool. Okay. So if you could name your 2026 erotic theme or kink goals in one word, what would it be and why?
It's funny. This word has come up a lot in 2025 for me too. I would say purpose. You know, I really feel like I'm called to this work and that my purpose is to bring this kind of experience to the people who need it. And for me, I think being in a place where this was happening and my goals were being met and my client list was growing with people who were experiencing these moments with me, you know, that would really be a fulfillment of my purpose.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for sharing your kink goals for next year and your business goals. It sounds really worthwhile and like you're going to have an amazing time with it. And I'm really looking forward to having you on the podcast again at the end of next year to see what happened to these goals for you. Yeah.
That'll be fun. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening to The Erotic Realm. If this episode stirred something in you, please take a moment to follow the show, leave a rating, or write a review on wherever you're listening. It helps more people find the show and brings visibility to this deeper conversation about eroticism and self-understanding. I'd also like to invite you to dive deeper into the psychology of desire, including my writing, research, and upcoming courses over at psychologyofdesire.com. And if you want the full experience, join thousands of curious minds on my Substack at psychologyofdesire.substack.com. This is where I release the Psychology of Desire case files, behind-the-scenes thoughts, and intimate reflections every week, plus more. Until next time, stay curious, stay embodied, and keep exploring. Also, as always, stay perverted.